What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the right side of the map in the blue color, playing as Poseidon. His name is Brickhead. His opponent today in the red color, all the way from Greece, because it's important. He's not playing the Greeks, though, because he's playing Odin. His name is TheMista. This is a game from way back when, almost 5 years ago now, maybe even 5 years ago, maybe more than 5 years ago. This game is played in 2017. We're going back in time, back before everybody realized how good Odin was, and before anyone realized what builds were good, and all of the kind of modernizing of Age of Mythology out the window. And we just got a game here, and we're going to see the genius that really is Mista, and even the genius that is Brickhead. Brickhead, one of those players who maybe in recent years has fallen off and hasn't really been playing too much, but definitely a fierce Thor player nonetheless. But in this game, he's playing Poseidon, which is in a lot of ways a bit of a buff to Brickhead, because back in 2017, playing the Norse was kind of like, yeah, you're just playing from behind because the builds weren't very good, and nobody really understood how to make much happen here. As we are seeing the deers coming in now, so we might see Brickhead moving over onto this hunt from his lure and having a little bit less problems here. We are on the map Midgard. This is more of an entertaining game for me. I'm not gonna comment too much on build orders here, because these guys just didn't know, which does make for a different sort of game, a more interesting game, a more fun game in a lot of ways, because different things can happen because the meta. I mean, let's be real, the game's been out in 2017. The game had been out for like 15 years already, so or 14, 15 years, however many, whatever. So the builds should have probably been pretty like, this is amazing, this is what you do, but I don't think that it's really been a purpose of the mythology player to get to that level until fairly recently, I would say. And maybe even if we say that our builds right now are the best, that's still a big statement nonetheless. Anyways, checking out what's going on over here. We've got some nice fish spawns at the start for Mystery. He actually gets a very strange spawn. These maps back in 2017 or before, they're very, very interesting, and some strange stuff can happen, and we are going to be seeing Mr. dropping a second dock over here. It doesn't look like he's got himself a second Ulfsark just yet. I wonder if he's going to be going for some sort of crazy big... Look at this fish here, the salmon spawn. Beautiful salmon spawn here for the Mista. We check out Brickhead's fish over here himself. He's going to actually have a very similar spawn as well. And like I said, these Midgard spawns, there's been a lot of different iterations of Midgard in the Voobly Balance Patch history, and this one seems to be more geared towards setting up second docks and having good fish on each of your second docks, so you don't have to spam as many docks as, say, on the current iteration or even the former iterations of Midgard. Let me know what you guys think about this type of a water map where the fish is more concentrated on one area rather than separated out. Seems like it's a slight nerf towards the Egyptians and a bit of a buff towards everyone else who's got the more expensive docks, but it's an interesting one nonetheless. Brickhead chucking up his temple right now, going to be looking to go to the next age fairly soon. Mista is throwing down his own temple, and we do see the Katoskopos running through Mista's base, checking out this gold mine. He's going to see that there is a sentry tower on this location, which means it can be pretty easily defended. Put some wall segments around here, any sort of rush here. The Odin player should be able to, most of the time, defend this one, as we are seeing that temple just about to come up here. The fishing ship's still coming out for Mista, and he's going to be dropping everyone onto wood with a couple of dwarves on gold here as he's going to be advancing through to the next age. This indicates to me that Mista is probably going to be going for a little bit of a water fight here because he's got so many villagers on wood. The alternate would be to have port these villages maybe over onto food and go for more of a land fight, though, especially if you've got like this few amount of fishing ships. So he's only got 10 fishing ships upping in about 5 minutes. I said I wasn't going to talk about this too much, but the modern builds are getting us up at about 5 minutes, 5:15 with 18 fishing ships. So it's a very, very big difference there. Brickhead, on the other hand here, he's only got 12 fishing ships, and he's also advancing around that 5 minute, 5:15 mark, which would be netting us 18 16 fishing ships. So you can just see that those difference between builds is a really big deal. Oh, thank you so much for the $10.
Big thanks. Your vids have gotten me through late nights with sleepless baby.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you. Jay Nahok 106. Hope your baby is doing well, my friend. Very, very excited for you. All right, so back to the thing. We've got some relics. We've got the Trios bow. Not a bad relic. Pretty good. Probably pick it up at some point. The Trios bow is the relic which gets us +2 Archer, Ballista, Cara Ballista range. Obviously not the best for Norse, but you want to keep that away from your opponents. We are seeing this location nice and defended here. You can see the wall segments, the walls up, everything else. We do see the forest fire getting dropped straight away. No surprises there. This was genuinely considered the best way to use forest fire back in the day to just simply cause a little bit of havoc in the early game to the opponent. Basically, you just like, well, I'm not going to get any value out of it anyway, so may as well drop it down as fast as I can to get some value early. So if we check out what Mister's got over here, he has actually gone for early Persine, making himself some more fishing ships over on this location, as the trireme are going to be coming through to put some pressure on. Longboat's coming out for Mister. Lots of villagers actually on gold here, as he's also dropping a longhouse. We just see the Valkyrie moving in onto this position. The Theseus already over here with the Centaur to defend this one. So no villagers are going to be hurting here, and that Valkyrie is for sure gonna have to get out of here, as we are seeing the trireme coming into this location right now, as the longboat's coming out for Mister to try and defend here. We do have 3 docks actually up for Brickhead, as both players seemingly getting some more fishing ship out maybe on this location. I don't know, as they're going to get more trireme to be built here. And now we see 1 longboat coming out. You generally don't want to be doing this. If you've got like a couple of trireme underneath dock fire, you want to just build into the dock until you've got enough numbers to kind of fight. Otherwise, you're just going to lose those pretty badly. So I'm seeing 1 Brickhead trireme getting pushed back over here. And these trireme going to have to wait in reserves while they're waiting for something more to come in to help them push through. But now Mister is here with a couple of longboats. Should be able to defend this fairly easily here, as the campus coming through. Mister not paying attention here, as he's kind of just in a weird position, just trying to defend, make sure that those trireme aren't going to get into his back position, I guess, as he's bringing more longboats in here to pick these ones off. And Brickhead very rightly so pulling away, as that food is starting to skyrocket. If we check out those fishing ships, does he have Persine? Yes, he does. So he's going to get a lot of food income very, very fast. No buildings down just yet for Brickhead. Mister, on the other hand here, he has himself a longhouse, make up Ulfsuck, but he is dropping that armory down, which does to me indicate he wants to go to the heroic age. It's not going to necessarily be for just armory upgrades for an early attack here. Especially, well, I mean, maybe there's room here for a pretty aggressive land rush forcing a ceasefire, but that's all you're really going to get. 2 towers here, the forest being burned, opening this gold mine up. These units could get a lot of damage done, but I think that maybe Mister might want to try to get that heroic age timing down, because Brickhead could go to the heroic age himself through Dionysus, get himself the scale, get himself the Hydra, and it can be very, very nice position here. So you are seeing those longboats pushing forward, and defender's advantage on water is so obnoxiously strong. Just because you have to walk in. Oh, I mean, you have to row in, I guess. But you're not going to get... You just really can't engage your opponent until you've got a significant advantage. And play, it's just so much easier to play defensively than it is to play offensively on maps like Midgard, Anatolia, even Mediterranean to some degree. Playing defensively much, much easier. We are seeing Mister dropping forward longhouses down now to try and pressure this gold mine. The gold mine's going to have maybe a little bit more resources left in it. We check out Brickhead here. He's getting up Dionysus himself. He's got 1,200 gold in that. He's dropping down the Watchtower Military Academy, coming down for maybe some Capaspis to defend against any sort of Ulfsark push in. Very smart to be doing that right now. The trireme pushing in here are going to all get pushed back. When the Skylers start coming in, I think they were pretty cheap back in the day. What are they? 20 favor? No, not that cheap. They used to be 15 favor at some point, so they were nerfed, but they're still very, very strong, and we'll see what Mister's going to be going through. He is going through Njord. So, I mean, it's kind of a weird one, right? Like, Njord has almost had a resurgence in popularity on Midgard and on Anatolia, because you get the Kraken, it helps you win the games. But I'm not sure if Njord was actually considered so much weaker than Skadi back in the day, People didn't realize how strong Frost was. But, I mean, on a water map, it's always completely fine to be thinking about going Njord because you get the extra fishing bonus anyway. Fish does gather faster than farm, so if you can hang on to your fish, that's much better for yourself, as we are seeing Forward Town Center getting grabbed by Mr. as his Njord is about to pop. And so you really don't need the winter harvest that comes from Skadi. And then also you don't need the frost because you've got the pressure is going to mount. You're going to be able to attack much harder with Walking Woods. It can be a little bit better because you've got all of that accelerated economy to make all the units. It's an interesting one. I think you can get away with doing both Skadi or Njord here and feel completely fine. It's more of a playstyle preference, I would say, as Brickhead does get this town center over here, but he is letting Mr. get this town center on this position as the trireme coming in over here. Where is the Skylar, though? There should be a Skylar somewhere. There it is, going to be coming in. 800 HP worth of pure carnage here, whereas the Kraken seemingly walking over or swimming over to the bottom side of the map here as these trireme going to be getting out of this location. We do see a hill fort coming up now for Mr. right on the front. He's looking to potentially put some sort of timing onto his opponent here. Gold mine seemingly all on the top side of the map. We do see that Walking Woods does come down over here and he's going to be running those back, keeping them in reserve to push in. They are kind of slow. I think I would have preferred to cast them when he's going to be attacking rather than early, but it doesn't matter all too much, I would say. There is a potential position over here that will be worth attacking where all the gold is. As we are actually seeing, that's exactly where these walking pines are going. Ships currently sitting in reserve over here, and they are moving forward. Both players sending their myth units to the opposite side. I'm actually interested on which myth unit actually wins. Skylar, 800 HP. Kraken, 800 HP. 20 damage versus 15 damage. So the Skylar does seemingly win. Just by a little bit, I would say. But it doesn't really matter. It's going to get picked off anyways if they go on together. And Mr. still taking his time here. I'm surprised to see him wait so long on this attack as we are seeing these walking snowy pines moving around this side, and Brickhead seemingly looking like he is going to the Mythic Age through Artemis. Military Academy is coming down. He has not built a single military unit here on the land just yet, and he's going for that early Mythic Age Earthquake to get some serious damage done. We do see the Hippolyta and the Theseus over here already as the fight is moving in over here. The Kraken getting some kills on this location, doing a lot of good damage there. And we will be seeing Mr. having to retreat away from this location. Here's the Valkyrie getting away. The Walking Snowy Pines trying to wander away as the Temple is going to be going down. The Temple trying to get shot back up on this position. It's Artemis coming through. The free Chimera is actually a really, really big deal against this kind of an army that Mister's kind of made here, because those Ulfsarks bunch up, and that special attack from the Chimera does so much damage to them. They've got such low HP and relatively low hack armor as well, so it does a ton of damage. As now, a couple more of these longboats getting picked off, and we will see some of those Apaspists starting to come out for Brickhead as the mountain giant here starting to smack away at said centaur. We see Brickhead wandering forward to try and take this one out. I think Mr. I mean, I don't particularly like this trade, Mountain Giant for a Centaur, but he's not going to be able to run away here. So it's kind of just misstepped in a way. Does manage to pick off a Militia as well, so gets a little bit of value there as the army starting to move in. We've got the Jarl through as well. Is Mr. going to the Mythic Age himself? No, he is not. He's getting close, though. He's getting very close. He is going up to 4 town centers, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. One Ulfsark on each of those, and we'll see where that Earthquake's going to be. Right in the center of Mr.'s base. Going to take down that town center and everything else, as we are also seeing the bronze getting cast to take this fight, but Mr. says better take it anyways, and this is going to be a really strong cleanup here for Brickhead, as he has got a huge advantage in this fight. Meanwhile, over here, the trireme trying to desperately hold against the mass of longboats that have been made here from Mr. If he takes these out, it's going to be a bit of a food income hit there for Brickhead, which is going to allow Mr. to potentially come back a little bit in this game, as his town center has come up. Town center over here going to come up as well. Balder has been clicked for Mr. So we've got the this is kind of coming into some weird meta that has happened recently, but in the wrong order, where the meta is definitely Mythic Age rushing, but without town centers, and it's much faster. But these players obviously aware that it's super strong to be jumping ages like this, as we are seeing the Ford Hill Fort will be getting taken down. Over here we've got a random longboat that is causing some issues. We've got the stray wolves over here that are going to get eaten up by Mr. as well, as he's got a lot of resources actually in the bank. He just doesn't have much wood here, so trying to get some more buildings up, making sure he gets that fire giant. Lots of favor in the bank to be spent. Meanwhile, over here, this town center getting denied as well, as Brickhead is kind of all over the map here, throwing axemen, trying to do their best here to take down those infantry. They're actually doing a half decent job here, as those Jarls are tanking a lot. These pacifists don't do much damage to them at all here. As throwing axemen, kind of getting out of position now, as the pacifists coming in to take them out. Meanwhile, over here, the lone Chimera getting told to leave this location, as the Jarl are here. And we'll see how it's going to go. As do we cast Balder straight away? How's the armory upgrades looking here? He's got himself medium infantry. We have heavy pacifists too for Brickhead. This is actually a really tough one now for Mr. to really think about what he's going to do. He's going to try and get all the fire giants out. He's got a whole bunch queued up, getting a market down as well, maybe start the trade route as well. We do see there's the Ragnarok actually coming in a little bit early, I would say. Definitely could have used maybe the extra 2 houses or extra house to get that extra fire giant out, waited on a market for the trade route to start. But now we've got watchtowers coming down. Farms have currently been created but not built. Not sure exactly what's up with that. And Mr. is simply just going to run straight through here. Still no armory upgrades, not getting any of them. This is going to be a little bit of a weak Ragnarok, I would say, as villagers over here are getting taken down off of this gold mine. Nice play to go straight after that. We do have a handful of units here just protecting that location there, as the pacifist here taking down some of Mr.'s units as well. Meanwhile, there's the ceasefire coming in, as Brickhead says, all right, let's just hold off just a little bit and see what we can do. Still no armory upgrades for Mr. I'm surprised to see that. Town centers now coming down. Now, the thing is, this Ragnarok here, when you have water control, is not that bad, because you've got yourself still 16 fishing ships getting you food that you aren't spending on anything, because you can't. You're over max pop. So by the time you are ready to go, back to starting villager production, you're going to have enough food to really skyrocket that up, and your economy is going to go up. So long as you do enough damage with this Ragnarok, should be fine without those ox caravans, I would say. And we'll see exactly what Brickhead's going to try here. He does not have himself masons. He does not have himself fortified town centers that it is coming through. And he is sitting at a full population with some decent resources in the bank. But still, no mail upgrades, no copper mail upgrades. I would say bit of a mistake here, as we are going to be seeing Mr. Dodging this army nicely, trying to get his town center up, distracting that army away, as now pushing forward, moving it up onto this location here. There is a real potential here for Mr. to get a gold starve here. If he can take down these units to push off this gold mine. Got these longboats picking off fishing ships as well while this is all going on. The pacifist retreating away. Meanwhile, town center getting denied over here as well. We do have a random Skylar going after the fishing ships. Mr. going to be garrisoning his fishing ships over there. That's some nice decision making there from Brickhead to be going after that location there, as the fire giant wandering forward here, going to try and take down some villages, trying to hurt Brickhead's economy as much as he possibly can, as those villagers are not retreating away, but the pacifists are coming in to try and defend this one. We've got a stray hero of Ragnarok here that's going to get taken down. Fortress going up in the main base of Brickhead, as he's going to attempt to defend in that position, but the villagers on this gold mine are going to be getting taken down fairly quickly here if Mr. can concentrate his efforts over on that location. But these heroes of Ragnarok really aren't going there. Meanwhile, the market also getting taken down. This is really smart by Brickhead to take that market down, as the Hippolyta here going to be getting targeted down as well. Mr.'s population down to 126 of 145, so he's going to be building those villages out all over the place. and seeing what he can make happen here. But it is seemingly looking like Brickhead has managed to defend this Ragnarok push here from Mr. But there is the Fire Giant follow-up coming in. Mr. did train these before he clicked Ragnarok, or spent the resources before he clicked Ragnarok. So these are going to be doing peak damage to these Apaspis that do have no armor, or basically no armory upgrades, just copper mail at this point. So we'll see them getting dealt with nicely. Nice micro here from Mr. to take down the Atlanta over here. And that is going to be beautiful, as he's going to be retreating back at this point. And now we just see the stray Skylar, actually, a Hydra, I should say, coming over here to clean up this dock and then potentially go after these villages. Got to go after the villages first. And if he gets some kills here, he might actually get ahead and start, or head or two, and start really getting some extra damage done, causing some very big chaos here, as the ox cart is actually going to get taken down. That's a little bit brutal, but Mr. notices it, going to be pulling away, and we'll see if he's going to be able to get this boom back happening. I think that Mr. really just not putting enough pressure onto this gold mine just yet, as Brickhead being allowed to gather gold when he really shouldn't be, is a big issue here, because these fire giants, they can 4 fire giants, I think, with a special ability, can one-hit a whole group of villagers. Brickhead smartly pulling away from this, as Mr. is going to be turning away and doing that damage. Look at that damage there, as the villagers getting pushed off that gold mine. We've got units currently kind of all over the map, causing raids onto Mr.'s economy, as he's not really able to defend it. But one fire giant coming over here to try and pick off the Hydra. Fire giant does beat a one-headed Hydra pretty convincingly. Had we seen the Hydra maybe take down some of the deer on the map, or some of the animals over here to get some extra heads before he came over, probably would have actually won that fight. But you know, nobody knows the small things here, as these Apaspis get absolutely murdered there by those fire giants. Now the village is getting absolutely massacred. We just see the Polyphemus coming in here, going to whack one of those fire giants away. But when you whack a fire giant away, he just kind of gets away from the Polyphemus, and it's not the best. We are going to be seeing a little bit of micro here from Mr., but he is going to indeed lose one of those fire giants. I would love to see the fire giants, when they have their special, just simply target down these villages and just pick them all off. But it's seemingly looking like Mr.'s military here not going to quite be enough to hold off the Polyphemus Hypaspis army. The Hippolyta over here doing a lot of damage. But Mr. holding strong here, it seems. He's got a couple of fire giants left. His third final fire giant here getting taken down, as the Hippolyta getting pushed back just to target the villagers. I mean, he doesn't know how low Brickhead's gold economy is right now, but if he did and he took these and he actually targeted the villagers down, it would be absolutely devastating. More villagers here getting taken down. We are seeing a couple of ox caravans that have been built as that market was taken down, meaning they're not going to be working too hard here. Mr. not really focusing on that position anymore. Going to have to pull back. 90 population for Brickhead with some decent economy. Mr. 63 population. Economy kind of kicking into gear here, I would say, but he is going to have to start grabbing some of that hunt on the map and sorting that out, because he really does not have the food economy to be continuing here. Stray fire giant here for Mr. Going to see what he can do with that one, pulling back with those fire giant over here as the heroes chasing them down. That Atlanta does so much damage and is so fast, but is consistently getting bumped by these kind of useless Apaspists in this position here. And we'll see how he's going to do, if he can continue in this game or not after the Ragnarok. He needs to set up in the hard part. Oh, there we go. He's just going to decide to tap out here. I actually think this game is still relatively close, though Brickhead definitely with a slight advantage in the civilian units at this point. It's very slight. It's one of those ones where you're just like, oh, am I actually really behind or not? Because you can't gauge exactly how behind or in front you are here. And the problem really comes down to, at this point here for Mr. seemingly being that he does not really have the cavalry production to deal with the Apaspis, and he's going to want to be throwing axemen here and want to make farms and everything to continue in this game. But because of all that damage that Brickhead did to the economy, utilizing the Skylar, he lost all that food economy, just a handful of Skylars here, enough to clean up all of that fishing economy, and Mr. really, and also taking down the market as well, all of that stuff contributing to Mr's inability to come back in this game. I think I think had he focused more on preventing this gold mine from being gathered than trying to pick off units, I think that he probably would have been able to be in a better position here, if not win this game. But in the end, he didn't do that, and Brickhead gets the dub. GG, well played. Nice to see some vintage Brickhead. If you guys enjoy this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.